This week I've been driving the 2021 Kia Telluride. I've been really excited to get this thing in for a full week and do a full review on it. And I know you guys have been really excited about me getting this as well, because every single three-row SUV review that I do, you guys comment that you would love to see more info on this. So we've got it. I've had it for a full week. We've used it as a family, had it packed with the kids, did some grocery shopping with it, everything that a family would do. And now we're gonna talk about it. All right, let's quickly talk about the different SUVs that Kia sells, because they do have quite a few these days. At the smallest, you're looking at the Kia Soul that's been around for a long time. Then you have the Kia Seltos, which is a new addition to the family, and we do have a review out on that. Then you have the Sportage, which is kind of their mid-tier. Then the Nero, which is their hybrid or electric platform. And then the Sorento, which used to be their biggest SUV, and now the Telluride. So onto the trims Kia offers for the Telluride. You have the LX, the S, the EX, and the SX. And for 2021, we have the all-new Night Fall Edition, which is a blacked out version. You get a lot of stealth black trims and accent pieces throughout the exterior of the vehicle. It's a really common pattern from a lot of manufacturers, and the 2021 Telluride has that as well. This one though is not that. This is just the SX, which is the top of the line trim for the Telluride. All right, and with that, let's talk about some of the exterior design cues here on the Telluride. And you can't start talking about exterior design without first touching on those LED headlight and LED front fog lamps. Now, one of the really cool features of the Telluride are those LED headlamps, especially the daytime running lamps. That amber surround is a really cool design and really makes this thing stand out on the road. You do have that traditional Kia grille shape, and this one has a satin chrome finish with a really nice and premium design. You also have that satin chrome finishing carried out for the bottom of the bumper and these side vents there on the front bumper. You also have that Telluride nameplate right there up front on the hood, which is a really nice and luxurious staple. Moving to the side of the vehicle, let's first talk about these 20-inch black finish alloy wheels. They do look really good and are wrapped with Michelin tires. Now, these are street tires, but we have taken the Telluride off-road before on street tires, and it performed really well. If you plan on taking this thing off-road often, you put a little bit thicker off-roading tires on it, it really handles itself really well. Along the side here, you also have those power folding side mirrors with integrated turn signals, and they do fold on lock, which I think is a great feature, and I wish more manufacturers would do this, especially for bigger SUVs. Taking an even wider look here at the side profile, you can see that same satin chrome finishing around the cabin of the vehicle and down on the bottom door seals and on those door handles. Now, this is also a keyless entry system, so you do have the button there on the door handle that allows you to lock and unlock the doors without ever touching the key. And moving around to the rear of the vehicle, you can see those very unique LED taillights. Again, you really know this thing when you see it out on the road. You also have that Telluride nameplate, again, taking up the full length of the back. We have our all-wheel drive badge down in the corner here, and the SX V6 badge in the other corner, and that satin chrome finishing on the rear bumper as well, with some pretty sporty exhaust pipes sticking out that rear bumper. We also have the trailering hookups and pins for connecting a trailer. Now, we're going to pop that hatch here in just a second, take a look at the cargo area. But first, let's take another wide look at this vehicle, talk about the dimensions, and then we'll move back to the back. All right, let's talk about overall dimensions here. The total length of the vehicle is 196.9 inches. The full wheelbase is 114.2 inches. Total height here is 68.9 inches. You have an 8-inch ground clearance, and your approach and departure angles are 17.0 degrees and 20.9 degrees respectively. And the width of the Telluride is 78.3 inches. Lastly, you might be wondering what that color is, It is snow white pearl paint. It is an extra added cost to get this color, but I think it looks really great on this vehicle, especially with that satin chrome finishing. All right, so let's get to opening that hatch. First off, you can open it with the key fob, or with the key fob in your pocket, you can walk up to the back. It will beep a few times to warn you that it's about to open, and then it will pop on its own. You can also set different heights for this thing to pop. So if you have a low garage or something like that, you can definitely set it to not pop as high. But as you might be able to see, we do have a good amount of cargo space here behind this third row, which is a great selling point for this Kia Telluride. So behind the third row, you have 21 cubic feet of cargo space. Fold that third row down, you get 46 cubic feet. And with all the seats folded down, you get 87 cubic feet of cargo volume. Now to put that in a bit more perspective, the Volkswagen Atlas, which I own, has 20 cubic feet of cargo volume to the Telluride's 21. The Palisade has 19 cubic feet, and most of the other competition has anywhere from 16 to 18 cubic feet. So this is one of the largest cargo areas that you can get in a 3-row SUV without jumping into something like the Expedition or Tahoe. All right, with that, let's move along to the front. Pop that hood, check out what's under the hood, and then we'll jump inside and start taking a look at the interior. All right, and under the hood here is Kia's 3.8 liter V6 engine. It is a gas direct injection engine. This setup pushes 291 horsepower, 262 foot-pounds of torque. It's matched up to an 8-speed automatic transmission and has a towing capacity of 5,000 pounds. And we'll talk more about how that engine, the horsepower and torque and transmission feel as we take it for a drive. But first, let's jump into the rear seats and start taking a look at the interior. All right, first off, this can be either a 8-passenger or 7-passenger configuration. So you can get a bench here in the middle that will hold 3, as well as a 3 in the back and the 2 in the front. That's your 8-passenger configuration. Or you can get a 7-passenger, which is what we have here, with the 2 in the front, 2 captain's chairs in the middle, and 3 in the third row. Opening up this second row seat to get into the third row is pretty easy with a touch of a button. Kia has definitely made that really nice for families, but if you have the captain chairs, it's really easy for kids just to come through this center area and get in the back that way. So before we really touch on the second row seat, let's jump into that third row seat and see how tight it is back there for a 6'1" adult. So you can push these seats up a little bit and adjust how far back they go. So if you want more legroom in the middle row or more legroom in the rear row, you can adjust these middle seats to accommodate that. The floorboard is a bit high, so my knees are up pretty high back here. My head is grazing the roof line here, but in a pinch, it's not terrible. I definitely wouldn't want to do a road trip back here or anything, but if you need to haul a couple of extra guys going out or whatever, this thing will accommodate. You do have your own individual cup holders on either side and USB charging ports back here. So when you got the kids back here, they're going to do just fine as far as fitting. My kids never really complained about being in the third row, which, trust me, if it was terrible, they would tell me. And you get nice accommodations to charge their devices. All right, let me jump back up here into the second row. But before we move into that second row, let's take this puff coat off. Not as bad out here without the wind from outside. Ugh. Again, not the most elegant or graceful for a 6'1" adult, but it can be done. Here in the second row, on the other hand, is really nice. So these captain's chairs here are really comfortable. You get plenty of room, even me, again, 6'1", plenty of knee room, plenty of foot room, plenty of hip room, plenty of head room, even with this extra moonroof panel. And here in the second row with this SX trim, you get quite a bit of luxury, including heated and cooled seats back here. Something you don't see hardly ever. We get sunshades on the windows. You get USB charging ports here on the side of the seats, which is a nice place to have them. You also get a 115 volt plug and a 12 volt accessory port. And you get all your AC controls and everything up here on the roof. All right, guys, with that, let's jump out of these rear seats, jump into the front, and really start digging into this interior. All right, and this is a really nice interior, not just for a Kia, but for a vehicle. It's a really nice interior. You get Napa leather trimmed seating, and these are really comfortable seats, perforated leather. They are also heated and cooled seats. Great touch. You get some nice wood treatments. You also get the leather wrapped steering wheel with white contrast stitching with a leather shift boot. But let me take you off the dash here and really give you a look around. Another really nice feature here is this premium cloth headliner. It looks really nice and definitely gives it a luxurious touch. We also have the dual sunroofs, one for the driver obviously, and over the second and third row seating. The driver's seat is also a memory seat, so you have two memory settings here that you can set it to. Really great for families. And as you might be able to see from the speaker on the door, as well as here underneath the screen, we do have a Harman Kardon 10 speaker premium audio system. And that system sounds really good, my kids will attest. And that screen is a 10.25 inch touchscreen display rocking Kia's UVO Link system with navigation. And all my time being in Kias, I've never had any issues with the UVO system. It's really good, nice and responsive. You get a lot of different options here, including weather. You get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integrations. It's just a nice system, and that 10.25 inch display is really nice in this vehicle. Moving down a bit from that, you have some of the controls for that system, including a quick button for your map, navigation, radio, media, your emergency lights, a seek and track button, and setup and favorites buttons. A little bit further down from that is all your AC and heater controls, including a heated steering wheel. And as you can see, it is a tri-system. So you got individual settings for your driver and passenger, as well as your rear seats. Continuing down, you get the heated and cooled seat toggle right here, and that is on both sides for the driver and passenger. And back here you can see you get one USB port for interfacing with the audio system. You also get a USB port for just charging and a 12 volt accessory port. You also get a wireless charging system that of course lets you wirelessly charge your phone. The only thing you don't get here that I would like to see is a USB Type-C port for faster charging, but other than that, it's a nice little setup. So continuing back into the console, you do have a little cup here for different things. It's also a nice little area to throw your phone. You also have two cup holders, and then your shifter here, normal manual shifter, and then you get your drive mode selector. And because we're all-wheel drive, you do get that differential lock. So you can see we're in eco mode here. You can put it into snow mode. You can put it into comfort, sport, and a smart mode. We'll talk more about these as we take it for a drive. A little bit further still, you can see we have our engine start stop feature off button, so you can turn that off. You have our parking sensors, which you can turn on and off. You have your camera view button and an auto hold button, as well as your parking brake right here. So speaking of that camera view, let's toggle that on and take a look at that 360 camera. So like I just said, we do have a 360 camera of the vehicle. Absolutely fantastic for larger vehicles to make sure you're inside the lines, just like we are here, perfectly parked. But you can toggle what view and angle you're getting here. You can also adjust the brightness and some other settings. But again, this is a nice system, really nice cameras, really good looking on the screen, and really handy for parking this bigger SUV. All right, next let's take a look at that steering wheel. Again, it is heated steering wheel. You do have a leather wrap steering wheel. You got function buttons on the steering wheel to interface with your driver information display and the radio. And speaking of that driver information display, it is a nice display. You do get some nice features here. As you can see, we're on our fuel economy. We can look at accumulated info, some drive info. We can have it on our miles per hour. We can see our drive mode selected. You can also go over to your compass. You can look at some system settings, including tire pressure, your lane keeping assist, your attention level, and your all-wheel drive, showing what power is going to what wheel. And then you can set up some other settings through this menu, including our heads-up display, which, yes, this does have a heads-up display. And it's a really nice and bright heads-up display. You can adjust the height of it for exactly where it sits, and I have it sitting right over the hood. And again, this is a feature that I really love. Some people don't care as much about it, but I really enjoy having a heads-up display on a vehicle. So it's just another premium touch for Kia. You also get some other really nice to have safety features, including a dual front advanced airbags, dual front seat mounted side and full length curtain airbags, and vehicle stability management. But with all of that, I think it is time to take this thing for a drive. All right, so let's hit it. So this is a nice driving vehicle as well. It's pretty comfortable to sit in, but also comfortable to drive. You do get a lot of tech in this, especially with the all-wheel drive package. You get some nice all-wheel drive features. You do get those drive modes. So again, we're in eco, which keeps you pretty economical. You have snow mode, which helps out if you're in snow, keeping that all-wheel drive working for you. You have comfort mode, which is just a normal, comfortable suspension, comfortable drive. You have the smart mode, which I'll be honest, I don't know exactly what it does, but you also have the sport mode, which gives this thing a little bit more of a sporty feel. This isn't a sport SUV, but it can sound pretty good and it can get up and go if needed. And there's some nice body roll here, but not scary, taking these corners at speed. Again, nice sound when you hit that accelerator pedal. And it definitely gets you up and going pretty quickly. Obviously, most owners aren't going to be doing circuit driving, but if you need to get up on a highway or pass somebody quickly, this thing will get up and go pretty decently for you. You also do have Kia's DriveWise driver assist tech, including a blind spot monitoring system, rear cross traffic collision avoidance assist, forward collision avoidance assist, highway driving assist, lane keeping assist, parking distance warning in reverse, a smart cruise control with stop and go, rear occupant alert with ultrasonic sensors, and a safe exit assist. So again, you do get a lot of that nice tech, a lot of those nice assist features that you would expect from a newer vehicle, and Kia handles all of those really well. And now you might have got a sneak peek of our fuel economy as I was showing the driver's information display, but the EPA ratings on this vehicle are 20 miles per gallon city, 26 highway for the front wheel drive model, and 19 city, 24 highway for the all-wheel drive, which we're driving here. And again, we've been averaging about 20 miles to the gallon. Of course, we do let this thing sit and idle as we're doing photos and video of it. And we're also a little bit harder on it with the throttle pedal as we're testing things out. So take that for what you will. One of my biggest and probably only gripe with the Telluride is even in this SX trim, their top of the line trim, there is a bunch of wind noise and road noise. It is a more boxy design, so of course the wind noise is going to be there and present, but some of that road noise they definitely could cut out with maybe a little bit extra noise deadening. The windshield does have some noise reduction built into it, but for a car at this price and in this segment, I would like it to be a little bit quieter out on the road. Definitely not a deal breaker, but something that I've observed that's annoyed me throughout this week of driving. Speaking about that price, let's find a place to pull over and we'll talk about the price and competition of the Telluride. All right, guys, so let's get nice, close, and comfy here. No, that's too close. Let's talk about the price and competition of the Telluride. So first of all, the base price for a base Telluride is $31,990, which is not the absolute cheapest three-row SUV on the market, but is a really great price for everything that you get even in the base vehicle. Our tester here, the SX trim with all the extras added onto it, which aren't much, has a full MSRP of $49,215. So under $50,000 for pretty much the top of the line vehicle. That is really good because some of the competition out there might even start a little bit lower, but their top of the line vehicles go a lot higher and aren't even quite as nice as this one is. So as a family man who owns a three-row SUV, who needs a three-row SUV for the family, I think that's a great price. But what does it compete with? It has become a crowded segment, which is great for families to have these choices. So there are a lot of different options here. You have the Honda Pilot, the GMC Acadia, the Ford Explorer, the Hyundai Palisade, the Volkswagen Atlas, the Nissan Pathfinder, the Dodge Durango, the Toyota Highlander, and there's probably some other ones that I missed. Out of that list, obviously I like the Volkswagen Atlas. That is what I own. I do have the base model of that vehicle, which I actually bought for under $30,000. But again, if you're looking at the top of the line of that vehicle, you're looking at over $50,000, around $52,000. And I've done a review on that vehicle. It's nice, but it's not even as nice as this. One of the big selling points of that Atlas is the rear cargo area. But again, that has 20 cubic feet of cargo space. This one has 21. So this is just a bit bigger than the Atlas. I also really like the new Hyundai Palisade. Of course, Hyundai Kia being sister companies, this is very similar to the Palisade. You do get a few things in the Palisade that you don't get in here, including a power drop for those rear seats from the back hatch, but you do sacrifice some cargo area. That one only has 19 cubic feet, while this one has 21. But everything else being equal, I like the interior of the Palisade a little bit more than I do this, but I really like the exterior design of this Kia more than I do that Palisade. We also recently drove and reviewed the all-new Toyota Highlander. I like the vehicle. It's a really good value for families, especially with Toyota's rep for quality, but I do like the Kia more than I do that Toyota. And the last one I'll touch on is the Dodge Durango. I think the Durango is a great vehicle, especially if you're a family man and you enjoy that muscle car feel. You can get that Durango very luxurious with the Citadel. It's nice and economical with the V6, or you can get that RT with the V8, the exhaust, and it's a really awesome car. You do sacrifice interior volume, so you have a lot less cargo volume than this, and the seating inside is a little bit more cramped, especially that third row. But we also just recently drove the Hellcat, so if you're looking at spending about $80,000 on your three-row family vehicle, check out that Durango Hellcat. And with that, let's jump back out of the vehicle and we'll start wrapping this video up. All right, guys, well, I hope you did enjoy that video. If you did, please take the time to hit the thumbs up button. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Telluride. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel. Also, go check out TXGARAGE.com. We've got a lot of great contributors over there writing articles every day. So it's a great resource for you guys. And if you liked this content, you'll really like their content. But again, with that, I hope you enjoyed. And with that, thanks for watching.